Hello and welcome. My name's Sam and this is the Little Greenhouse Creates. Thank you for joining me today. And today we are on our second card for the stamp set of the week, Gears and Textures. Now today we're bringing in the dies to help us create a stunning card. It is this beautiful card here with all these beautiful dies. There's so many dies that it all come together to create these wonderful gears. So let me bring in the supplies and we can begin. So I have got a piece of black which measures 8 inches by 5 3/4. I have a white piece of cardstock that measures 3 3/4 by 5 1/2. I have a sentiment strip which is 1/2 inch by 2 3/4. I have a piece of lunar textured paper. Now it's it's almost shiny, but it's not like glitter or the glossy paper. This is just a beautiful, it's got like a cotton feel to it, texture, but it's beautiful. So I'm using that to help me make the gears, and I've also got a piece of black cardstock as well. So the first thing I want to do is lean across because, as usual, I've forgotten the sentiment. So I'm going to grab the happy birthday. She said, am I going to happy birthday? Yeah, the happy birthday. There it is. From the Simply Said. And get myself a block. There we go. Oops. It's obviously thinks it's a Monday. There we go, that's better. Right. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with the stamping as normal. So let's bring in our white only, and we'll come back to the other pieces in a moment. Now I'm using basic grey, which I'm going to use the sentiment with. Do I want basic grey for the sentiment, or am I going to use black? No, I'm going to use black. Let's change it. It's a good start. So I'm going to use the Memento Black. And I'm going to stamp on the happy birthday. Oops, that's it. Okay, so there's the happy birthday. I am going to dip the edges, but I want to check before I do it, once the card is made, whether I'm going to dip them in the grey or the black. So we'll see how that works out when it arrives. Now I'm going to bring in the basic grey. And I'm just going to do some stamping of the textures. So I've got on there. And on there, I'm going to bring in the splatter, or the big splatter. I'm going to pop that down here at the bottom. This one I've done in the smoky slate, and then I'm going to bring in some real splatters. I was going to do it in that one, but I think I might do it in the smoky slate. Let's see. I don't want too much background because it will take away from the gears that we're going to create. 1, 2, and then I'm going to do another one. I'll go down here. There. I'll do. Right. So as you can see, not a lot, because we're now going to create the gears to go with it. So what you need to do is you take a piece of each of the colours, and then you're going to layer the, so that's a chain, that's a row of screw holes. Then we got 1 gear, 2. There we go. There we go. Put much more. Oh yeah, 1 more. Now these are the gears that I've used. So once you've run both sets through, they will come out. Put these back in here so I don't lose them. They will come out looking, so you're going to run them through the cut and embossed, and they're going to come out looking like this. Put that one there and that one. No, wrong one. That one. There. Okay. So you've got all these loose pieces. So as you can see, you've got the chains. Get rid of that bit. Come on, thank you. You've got like fencing or wire. That's how I meant about screw holes. It's probably a technical name for it, but no. And then what you're going to do is you're going to layer some of the gears to help create a focal. So you've got this circular piece, which once you add a tiny bit of glue around, goes over the top like so. There we go. Put that down. Then you've got this tiny little gear that can go on the top. Okay. And then you've got these gears. Now what I do is I put glue on the base. Don't do the mistake I made, which was put glue on the actual ends. You just need it round the outside, or sorry, the inside of the circle, because if you put it on the other bit, there's nowhere else for it to stick. Okay, so what you're going to do is just a small, oops, too much running through here. Going round, there we go. Wipe some of that off. There. And then you're going to move it so that each of the gears, so the silver shows through as well as the black. Let's see if I can get that to, there we go. There we are, perfect. And then that's that one sorted. Now that we've got them all stuck together, we can now arrange them to the specification. Right, so let's have a look. So I'm going to go one coming down there. I'm going to do maybe that across there. That one can go up there. And then we've got a chain there, and actually let's do another chain there. Okay, so let's stick these down flat. So what you're going to do is you're just going to put your glue on the bits, obviously, where there are no holes. And you can stick it down about there, I think. Hold that down, there we go. I'm going to put a few dots on this one. There we go. That will go down onto there. I'm going to do the same with this one. Normally I can't get the glue to come out. Today I can't get the glue to stop coming out. You can tell the weather is picking up. It's a beautiful day here. The sun is out and the birds are tweeting. So it's going to be a good day. Right, okay, so again, just a dab of glue onto the edges here. That's going to be a long one. Go there. Come on, you can stick, you've got the glue. There we go. There we are. Oh, goodness gracious me. Maybe put a bit more glue on. I think my finger may be a little sticky and it keeps picking it up. Let's see if we can put a bit more glue on. problem is I don't want it oozing out. Right, let's try that. A bit more glue. So let's put that down there. And I'm going to lean across and grab my pointy tool. Whoops. There we go. And then I'm going to do exactly the same on this one. But I'm not going to use as many. Just going to do the 4. And then that can be a shorter one. Oh, come on. 2, 3. There we go. 4. Perfect. Now, what I'm going to do now is grab a pair of scissors and we're going to turn them over and cut off the edges that we don't need. Let's do that. One. And that one there. Let's get rid of those in case they're sticky. Okay, and so the next thing to do now is to bring in our gears. Now these I'm actually going to raise on dimensionals. I'm going to do them in opposite ends. That way I think. That down. Right, so that's roughly what I'm looking at. Right, let's get my dimensionals. I'm just going to put a dimensional on the middle section, and then that will go, that's going to sit there. Okay, so let's do that one. That one sits right at the very top. Okay, and this is going to come to about there. Again in the middle. There. Then going to put a dimension on that one. Before I stick it down, I just want to make sure that there's room for everything. And then a glue on that one. Glue, a dot. Go there. Yep, that works for me. Okay, so I take that one off. I can go there. And then this one can go there. Right, so the only other thing to do now is to put the sentiment on, which I'm probably going to put down here. So let's get that off my fingers. Add one there. One there. And one there. There we go. I'm not going to dip the edges, I've decided. I'm going to go onto there. And then now we can burnish. Score at the 4-inch mark or fold in half, whichever you prefer. I'm going to burnish it with my bone folder. And then I can place this on top of here with my glue. There we go. And then we just lower that down. And there is today's card. Perfect. I hope you like that. So there's the black and white, and this is the grey and vanilla. So thank you ever so much for joining me today. Join me again on Friday if you would, and we will do a funky fold. Thanks ever so much. Take care. Bye.